Hello everyone, welcome back to another thrift store finds video, and as the title suggests, I found a bunch of LaserDiscs, and if you're looking for LaserDiscs, most of these are going onto the store, so make sure you check that out, probably over the weekend into early next week, because I kind of want to test a lot of them out. I want to make sure they're in good condition, and like the VHS and whatever, it's a great way to just watch a movie like a rental and then sell it on. Found tons of LaserDiscs, and I found it in spots like everywhere. It was crazy. I actually want to go back to that Goodwill probably, I don't know, I might go back tomorrow, I might go back Saturday. I want to take a trip soon because I have never seen so many. Like, I left a bunch of LaserDiscs. There were that many because there was stuff that was, looking it up, not worth it for the store and not what I wanted, so not really worth grabbing. But to start, went to the bargain bins as I always do, right when they open. Found a few things here, there, a few books, a couple of DVDs, like nothing super great, enough to make the trip worthwhile, but nothing too exciting. Kind of thing I would never make a video about. And then they were bringing out a few more bins, and they had a bunch of records and the usual kind of junk that is normally in there. And then I kept pulling out LaserDiscs. We have Strangers on a Train, Dead Again, The Lady from Shanghai. I really want to watch this because I've never seen the entire movie. It's Orson Welles and Rita Hayworth. This is one of those that I randomly caught on TV at some point in my life. I don't know when, but I know I missed the first, like, maybe half hour probably. One of those I've just never happened to see it again. So I will give that a watch and see if that's a keeper for the store. From the Killiam Silent Classics, The Beloved Rogue. These are cool. I have a couple of these. I have The Sheik and Claire Bow's It on this series, a good line of silent movies on LaserDisc. We have Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And we have A Time to Kill. And these are very shimmery because most of these have protective sleeves. Actually, a few that I found that are even sealed, but really good stuff. Kiss the Girls. This is definitely someone's collection. This is really, really cool. The deluxe letterbox edition of Lolita. Great Stanley Kubrick movie, and I'm a huge fan of Peter Sellers, so I really like him in this version of Lolita, so that is a really interesting find. And then Lebenstraum, we have the story of lust, murder, and dream. I never heard of this one, but I will have to check it out. Never heard of this one. So that was great. I was like, holy cow, I can't believe. So normal thing, then went to the regular room, was looking around. Not much had changed. I'd just been there earlier in the week, the DVDs and Blu-rays, and there was just nothing, and the books didn't look like they had put anything new out. And I just kind of glanced over one section, then I went to the wares, and it really was like, wow, they didn't move anything in days. And then there was one section I couldn't get to because there was still a worker there with a big cart kind of moving stuff around, and it was the records, which I normally blaze through in like 30 seconds because they don't move very frequently, and it's usually a bunch of it's a whole bunch of country and Christian. Those are the two things that I see constantly there, and they're usually in terrible shape, and they sit there for months. But this time it looked like stuff was moving, and I did my round, and I came back, and he was done, and I went, and holy crap, a bunch more LaserDiscs. This is where there's a bunch that I just left because they, if they aren't worth selling and I don't want them, why am I going to grab them? But they had a whole bunch there, and they were $1.99 a piece. So I started grabbing. We have Alfred Hitchcock's Rope, really good one that I don't really see frequently, so that's kind of a cool one to find. And there was only one bad thing about the situation. I was the second person to find them. People were waiting for the guy to get out of the way because they're moving in that section. You couldn't get there, and I did my round. By the time I came back, I was the second person to reach them. And some guy grabbed a bunch of Disney LaserDiscs. He grabbed some expensive horror movie. I'm so pissed. I was like, I'm so happy I'm finding LaserDiscs, but oh my god, he grabbed the best of the best. And it was worse because it's someone that all the other resellers can't stand. He is the biggest jerk. He's been kicked out several times from this Goodwill, once for starting a fight. He's just an ass. He is not a nice guy. And I could see, because there were a couple other people that came in, they were looking, and they saw that I was excited about these LaserDiscs, and it was this one old guy, they all have nicknames. So the one guy is a veteran, Dick, who he's a Korean War veteran, always talks to me about the Korean War stories and MASH, the series, so his nickname's always Korea. And then we have Mr. Scrubs, he works a night shift as a nurse and comes in scrubs all the time. Just all these people, fun, but they were both kind of like trying to help me get some towards the LaserDisc, because they hate this guy too, but he got away with a bunch of stuff, but I still found a bunch of good things. And then it got even funnier. We have Looney Tunes curtain calls, so everyone else was like saw that I was interested in this thing, they're trying to help me out. But we have Two for the Road, Albert Finney, really good in that one that I have in my Audrey Hepburn collection. Mighty Joe Young, the original Mighty Joe Young, not the Disney remake. This is a great movie. I think as far as the King Kong type movies and sequels and all of those, whatever, this is either my second or third favorite after the original King Kong. Mighty Joe Young is really good. Spiral Staircase. Marlena Dietrich in The Blue Angel. Elizabeth Taylor, The VIPs. Twelfth Night, this is one of those that's sealed, a couple of sealed ones. Dangerous Liaisons, 1960 version. That is the Cinema Disc collection. Some pretty good releases of some foreign films in the US in that collection. I have some Brigitte Bardot and some other stuff from that. We have Black Sheep. This is interesting, one of these smaller LaserDiscs. I just have a LaserDisc catalog in this size, but this is a promotional disc for the Royal Opera House of Covent Garden. So that's just kind of an oddball thing. That's like, okay, it'll pop up in the store. One box set for $2. It's one of those MGM. It's a little beat up on the top, but Ziegfeld Follies. Grabbed all that and was like, holy cow! I don't think I've ever had so many LaserDiscs at once, aside from like something from the Good Squid from like Japan or something. But I found so much, a bunch of stuff. Like for $2, it's worth going for the store and give them a watch. That's the other fun thing. It's like, pay $2 for a rental and then get to sell it and make your money back plus some. But as I'm looking through, and I'm taking a little while, and I'm re-going, and the guy that no one likes, the jerk, is kind of scanning all the LaserDiscs that he has in his cart, and he's trying to figure out, because he doesn't really know what anything is, he's trying to figure out what's worth something. He just grabbed Disney and horror, because he knew that's something, and he did grab the stuff that's worth the most. I missed out on a few things. I'm really, really annoyed by that. But he was doing that, and I was kind of like, I was searching for things, kind of waiting and seeing, because I could see there's some he's not grabbing. It's like, maybe there's something I want, or maybe just, maybe he has a price in his mind, or if it's below that, he won't grab it for the store. Maybe I'll grab it for mine. Who knows? So I'm waiting around, and then while I'm waiting there, the other guys had left and went back next door, because usually how things work is if they're going to put out new stuff for the day, it tends to be right after the main store opens. They start bringing stuff out. They time it that way. It's frustrating. But one of the guys came back over, Mr. Scrubs came over, and he says, there's a few more LaserDiscs over there I saw, and he left. And he came back. That was very nice. Came back just to tell me. I was like, oh, it's really sweet of him to do that. So I went over, and I did find a few more LaserDiscs. I was like, yes. So I went over there in the bargain bin, found some more She, with the original price tag on there, like $40. And we have Angels and Insects. I've never heard of this one. Another one I've never heard of, but for a bargain bin price, even if it was the main room, it would have been $2. So, like, yeah, interesting. Artwork. This I was really happy about, because this is so cool to get on LaserDisc, because I love 80s movies, and 80s movies on LaserDisc, that's just like a match made in heaven for me. But Splash, very excited about that. I just rewatched Splash on DVD not that long ago, so I'm going to have to rewatch it again. But that's a great movie. Sandra Bullock, The Net. Funny to find this on LaserDisc, because I had not seen this before, and this is one that is on our DVD watch pile for Amanda and I to eventually check out, and I found it on LaserDisc. And then we have The Sun, Pink Panther. Really cool. So then I was going through there and found one record also. I've got this on the side. I found the soundtrack to The Terminator. And at first I pulled it out and thought it was going to be the LaserDisc. But I already have it, so. But that's even better then. Found the soundtrack on vinyl, and as I'm over there, I'm looking around. Then one of my other buddies comes over, the real old guy, Korea, as you would call him. He comes over, and he came over and he's like, "Hey, that guy, he's done. He puts the stuff back on the shelf." It's like, "All right, gonna check it out." And going back and nothing decent. Everything he put back was stuff that wasn't really worth either reselling or whatever. But it was just funny that just being nice to people. Like, these aren't people I know outside of seeing them at the same general thrift stores, especially this one, all the time, and just being friendly, just talk to people, just whatever. And just like we shared a bond of our dislike of this other guy. He's nasty. Like, I've seen him push an old lady out of the way, like someone in her 70s, like just shoved her because she was standing in front of something he wanted. Like, he's just a jackass. So he comes over. It was like very nice, and like everyone's just trying to help me find these cool LaserDiscs. And I was like, all right. And I did find some really good stuff. It just ticks me off that. It ticks me off more that he's the one who found it. Because if it was one of these other nice guys, it would be like, crap, I missed out. That would have been awesome. But at least it's going to someone who's nice and whatever, and who wants them, or who's going to sell them, needs them for their store, whatever. But it just irked me that it was that guy. So that was the frustrating part of an awesome morning, though. I found a lot of great stuff. I am going to try and go back sometime just to see. And again, that stuff doesn't change over a lot, but you never know, especially because I found some of the bargain bin, like those change more frequently. So I'll have to check back. But tons of LaserDiscs, lots to check out. A bunch of these will be in the store as well. And then there's also going to be, because I got one other really, really cool thing I was saving towards the end in the main room while I was doing my walk around waiting to see if I get to where the records are. If you want some individual seasons of Buffy, there's going to be some up in my store. If you're missing a season for your collection, you need that season 5 set and you don't have it, check it out, because I'm going to be selling some of our individual seasons, because I grabbed today a cool Buffy box set for it was $15. Cool Buffy box set, complete series DVD box set. This is really, really cool, pretty fantastic. This is interesting. This was in with the board games, so I don't know. You never know. Again, you always check, because it's kind of weird shape and whatever. I don't know why they had $15 on. Who the hell knows? But this cool Buffy box set, this is awesome. So I'll be selling on some of our corresponding individual seasons. Go ahead and open this up for the artwork and all the seasons on DVD there, and they are all the slim case, the sort of comic-y looking covers. These newer ones, Buffy's been released a bunch of times, the big fold-out ones, the ones with those real slim packs in there. You take each disc out individually, and then re-released in this form twice, once with older artwork that matches the big fold-out box sets, and then again with this newer artwork, some Buffy advertising. But so these newer discs, this is really, really cool, a really pretty Buffy box set. So this I will be keeping for myself and selling on some of our individual seasons. So if you're looking for Buffy or LaserDiscs, make sure you check out the eBay store in particular, because there's going to be a bunch of that stuff going on, because this was one heck of a just fun trip. As someone who loves LaserDiscs, just awesome. And there are a couple here that I'll be giving a watch, and there are a few that will be for me. Obviously, anything, even though it's son of Pink Panther, it's still an okay movie, and it's Pink Panther, so it's staying in the collection. Anything Pink Panther is coming my way. Great morning, very excited. Maybe I'll see you again soon with some more LaserDiscs. We shall see.